So it's been less than 3 months since the Moto X was released, but is it still a competitive phone? Hey, what's up guys, it's Austin here, and yeah, the Moto X has been out for some time now. I actually did a short video on it way back when, before it was even released, but I still wanted to give you guys my full review and my impressions on the phone. Now, even though phones like the Nexus 5 and other flagships are being released, don't be fooled, this is still a good phone. Now, it's definitely not perfect, but it is still pretty good. I would say that the two main selling points for this phone are features and price. Now, the price is definitely something worth considering. It comes in at $99 on all carriers, putting it in the budget range of phones. In fact, you can get the Verizon model for just $49 if you buy it through Amazon. But even though it's at a budget price, it's not really a budget phone. Now, the specs don't really make this argument too convincing, but just trust me. Now, first off, it has a 4.7-inch 720p AMOLED display, and while that might not look too impressive on paper, the lower resolution actually helps a lot with battery life, and the screen itself does look pretty good. It's nice and bright and the colors are vibrant. Also, the screen size is not too big, not too small. I'd actually say it's probably just the right size for your average consumer. Now, inside, the Moto X has a dual-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor, a quad-core GPU, a custom language processor, and a contextual awareness processor. So that's 4 processors and 8 cores, so there's a lot of stuff inside, but all these help the phone run as smooth as it does, along with the 2 gigabytes of RAM. But I will tell you this right now, this is not the fastest phone in the world. But then again, it's not really trying to be. It gets the job done with minimal hiccups and minimal lag, and overall the experience is pretty smooth. Also packed inside is a 10 megapixel camera with clear pixel technology, which is okay. It's not terrible, but I've definitely seen better. The colors just seem a bit dull, and the sharpness isn't really there, but it does have some pretty cool features. For example, you can shake your wrist when the device is asleep and go straight into the camera, and once you're inside the camera, you can actually just tap and it'll focus and automatically take a picture. So I think that's a pretty intuitive feature. And the last tech spec is the non-removable 2200 milliamp hour battery, which they claim lasts all day, and for the most part it does. I've never really found myself like having to have a charger on me to charge this thing. It basically gets me through the day. Oh yeah, and these speakers, they're pretty good, I guess. They get loud. I don't really expect much from phone speakers, so yeah. Okay, so now that we're past all that technical jargon, we can get into the good stuff, and that is the features. That is what this phone is. It is a feature phone. So first off, when you pick up the Moto X, you can just tell that it was ergonomically designed. The back has this slight curved design that just makes it really natural to hold. I can't really explain it. But in fact, after using this so much, I actually found it kind of annoying going back to my Galaxy S3 because the feeling just wasn't there. It feels like it was just meant to be held, and you can see that with subtle things like the little dimple in the back where you can just rest your finger. It just feels right. Now, another thing you'll notice when you pick up this phone is one of the more modest features that this phone has to offer. And I say that because this is something that I thought would be pretty cool but wouldn't really be necessary. But again, when I go back to my Galaxy, it's weird not to have this feature. Now, the Moto X has active notifications that show you what you need to see whenever you pick up your phone. So whenever you take your phone out of your pocket or you take it off of a desk, it'll recognize that action and it'll show you the time and whatever notifications you have at that given moment in a really clean format. So you can just like hold down to get more information about the notifications and either swipe up or down to unlock the phone or interact with whatever notifications you have. And it's really just a natural feeling. It's just like looking down at your watch. It's one of the most natural feelings, and it makes me wonder why phones prior to this never thought to have this feature. Also, since the phone uses an AMOLED display, it actually only lights up the individual pixels it's using. So having this active notification on all the time, it really doesn't affect battery life. And again, it does pretty much get all day battery life. So it's pretty solid in that regard. So once you get into the operating system, you'll see a very lightly skinned version of Android 4.2. And for once, the changes made by the skin are actually better. So with the release of Android 4.4 or KitKat, we're seeing a lot of integration with Google Now. And I mean a lot. Well, even though the Moto X is still running Android 4.2, it already had some of the best features. For example, okay Google Now, play some Kendrick Lamar.
Sending request.
The phone doesn't even really have to be on, it can just be asleep. Thanks to that contextual awareness processor, the phone is just constantly listening for the key phrase, "Okay Google now." And it's pretty damn accurate. I mean, I can be listening to music and say, "Okay Google now," and it'll still recognize that I said the key phrase and, you know, prompt for whatever I'm going to say next. That's how good it is. And if you don't know by now, Google Now is pretty good. It can do just about anything you'd ever want it to do. And for those things that it can't, Google is working on it. Having these features is what sets the Moto X apart, and that's exactly what it is, a feature phone at a good price. It doesn't have the highest end specs, but it still runs fast, and everything about the phone just feels natural and intuitive, and honestly it just works. Now there are some things that I would change about the phone, mainly the camera. It's 10 megapixels, but it is a little disappointing, but other than that, it's a really solid phone. Plus, if you're on AT&T, and I do believe Sprint starting later in the month, you can go on Moto Maker and design one of these for yourself. So you can select the face color, the trim, the back color. I promise you I didn't design this myself. This was sent by AT&T. I probably wouldn't get a pink back, but I digress. So that's it for my review. I hope you all enjoyed it. In fact, if you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button and share this video with anyone you think would find it useful. As always, be sure to let me know what you guys think of the phone down in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.